not all on you to do it, right? That's why you have a team.
Well, and that's where, like, to your point, the three things: sell new folks, take care of the flock, and manage your team. This falls into the manage your team category.
Yeah, what your team wants to do, right? Like I always tell people, like, empower your teams to take care of the customers, right? They're not just widgets to run a workout, right? They're an extension of the director to take care of the people and help them.
Matt, back in the Beats Lab.
Back in the lab, man. You ready?
I'm so ready.
Spit some hot fire.
Spitting fire. How you been?
Good.
Good. Things going well?
Just opening clubs. I think we opened, 8 this month.
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
Good job, man.
It seems like every day now.
New opening. It's like, everyone's an individual. We still think they're all awesome, but it's a volume play at this
it's
point.
fun.
Love it.
I mean, it's all coming from that huge, we had a May training. I think we had, 10 clubs, 9 clubs. So we're getting all those are coming through. But things are going great.
Love it.
Good pre-sales.
Yeah, good job.
Club's doing well.
Club ops. That's where it's at. You got the biggest job in the mix, I would say, because you've got to be in this relationship for 10 years with folks. We all do, but like certainly you're on the front lines of your team. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw the stat. I mean, we're well over 10,000 clients in the network.
Yeah.
So I think it's closer to like 1,100, 12 now, but like that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to pull
That's
that.
how many people we helped.
Well, and you remember the multiplier from last year, not to spoiler conference, but we'll probably run the same multiplier. It's like, I mean, depending on who you ask, if you ask ChatGPT, one person will directly affect 100 people in their life, significantly. And so if you are one of those 10,000, 12,000, whatever that is, even if you said, all right, you're only going to really affect 10, but then down the line, those people are going to, affect 10. That multiplier is nuts, right? Yeah. So to have 10,000 people out there who are in a better place physically, which means that everybody around them is benefiting from their fitness. And if you look at one of our success stories this year at conference, it's going to talk about, she goes in and works out, and then she goes back to the hotel because she works out when she's traveling, and then all of her coworkers come down and she works them out. It's just like motivating everyone. So it's like, awesome. And then they go and they help people. So it's like, that's the multiplier that we're looking for. It's freaking awesome.
Very cool.
So, good job. Did you bring a dad joke?
I did. This one, did you know I was into poetry?
Poetry. And I would not have guessed that.
No, I got a good one for you today. I dig, you dig, he digs, she digs, we dig, they dig. It's not a long poem, but it's deep.
So bad.
I don't think I nailed the delivery, but
it actually wasn't bad. I have to admit, not bad. Not bad at all. What do you get when you mix a snowman with a vampire?
I don't know.
Frostbite.
All right.
That's so lame. That's like what you told one that I would tell, and I told one that you would tell. Like
you gave one of my kid jokes.
I like it. So yeah, props to all Matt's girls. They're awesome. They can listen in on this episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, look, what we are going to talk about today is something that is very important, which is the role of the director, and also like day in the life of. Because once you understand the role, then it's like, well, how do I organize my day in a way to most effectively make the most use of my time? Also, keep me from feeling so scattered, because there's lots of hats at times in that position.
Sure.
But as long as you can keep the main thing, and that's what you're going to outline, because you did sit in this seat of the director for many years when we had a layered membership approach, when we were servicing all this stuff all over the world. We were building boot camps and stuff. So we had all kinds of different memberships and, 700 members and all kinds of crazy stuff. And you were managing all of that. And so management of time management is a really important skill for, I would say, anyone, but especially in business for this role within Alloy. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, let's first break it down. I mean, you created this role, so there's nobody more perfect to explain this, but I mean, we have who leads the gym that we call it the director of training. You could essentially call it almost a general manager. Do you want to talk about like why we don't call it general manager? What's director of training?
Yeah, I think for the sake of the podcast, for anyone listening, it actually is the general manager, which means they're responsible for the growth of the business to a certain degree within those four walls, mainly relating to the clients. But the reason we don't call it the manager is just like not a fun term. Like if I'm coming into a personal training place and that's on the door, I want to see a trainer, right? And so when you look at the title director of training, as a consumer, I don't like the manager's great, but like, I need to speak to your manager. We're not that. So like, what do we really want as a consumer in a brand like that? It's like, I want to talk to the head honcho, the person that knows the most about training, who can sit me down and make a prescription that's going to help me get from point A to point B, like a solution to my problem. So the consumer facing term is director of training. That's why we do it. But for the sake of this conversation, it's interchangeable with general manager.
Got it. So let's talk about the role. Like, what am I doing as a director of training? And as you said, like, it's small business, there's many hats, there's a lot of things, but what is the main levers like for this position especially? So director of training, think of this person as the leader of your studio, the face of your studio, if you will, right? They're handling all new sales, right? So we do our starting point sessions, our initial onboarding. This person does all that. Right. So they're the first person a new customer will meet and will lead them on the journey. Right. So that's the first part. The next part is handling the retention side of things in the business. Right. So you sign them up, then our expectation is you're going to try to keep them in there. And again, being that face is very important. Right. And then the last couple parts is leading the team and making sure everything inside the four walls is being done and ran appropriately. So you're leading the customers and you're leading the team. So if you think about it, your three main things, you got sales, marketing, you're handling retention and leading the team inside the studio.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I often describe the position as sell the new ones, take care of the flock.
Yeah.
In its basic essence. So you could almost say coaching the team, while that is an important responsibility, and I'm glad you parsed that from the others, but really it's sort of like with those two main metrics, sell new ones, take care. The take care part almost has a subcategory of like, we got to work with your team, right? Because the better they are, the better you take care of people, the better your retention is, right? So in its bare essence, 100%. So let's talk about those. Those are the actual roles. I don't know if you want to get into the detail of what that means, but I think more importantly, what I would like people to get out of this, especially if they're with Alloy, is, okay, that sounds like a few things, but there's a lot of little steps in there. What would the day in the life of a director look like? Because organizing your day so that you don't feel like chaotic and that you're on top of things, right, is a very important skill. And I know we provide a framework for that. And we get that question often from new candidates that are looking to be awarded an Alloy. And they're like, what is the day in the life of a director? What does that person do? So I think your lens, because you did it at such high volume, and then how you guys are coaching clubs to organize, for the director to organize their day, would be super helpful.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you said earlier, the whole job is to get new members, keep members. Like that is it. And then if you keep that the main thing, like you said, you're going to be much better off in this role. Know that it's a role, like, again, small business, there's a lot of things pulling you all different directions. I mean, there's small things like social media and running reports, and like there's different things happening. But if you always keep the lens of get members, keep members, it's going to make your life a lot better.
So would you ask yourself the question, Matt, like, is what I'm working on right now doing one of those two things? Am I working to get a new member with this activity, or am I looking to preserve member or members with this activity? Would that be the lens on like what you do in a day?
Absolutely. And then everything else like fills in the rest. So being a director of day to life, right? So, I mean, we'll just say, pretending it's Monday. We're coming in. Usually they're there 7, 8, 9 in the morning, right? A lot of times schedule wise, you're going to be in some split shift some days where you're working in the morning. Sometimes you're coming back in the afternoon, but generally speaking, you want to be there when customers are there, especially during busy times, because again, you're the face of the business. You are the one last line of defense for retention. You need to have interaction with those people. Right. So that's the first thing. So if you're looking at schedule, typically, like I would work when I was doing it, I would have several 2, 3, 4 mornings I'd be in, and then a couple evenings, and I would vary those. So I would see all the customers, right? It wouldn't be just Monday nights. It would be, I'd hit Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
So you got to be able to touch everybody. It's not just a standard, I work 8 to 5 job, right?
Right.
Because we're in training. People come before work, after work.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for you. So just expectations there. You got to make sure you move around. You see the customers. Now, when I'm coming into the facility, going back to what we just talked about, keeping the main thing, the two levers I got to make sure I'm really focused on pulling are getting new members, one. So I'm really paying attention to maybe I have new leads coming into the system. Maybe I have leads that responded to me. I got to call them. I got to make sure that I'm doing my appropriate, we talked about speed to lead. I'm getting to those people right away. Right? Because we know that if we don't do that, we're money light up $20, $50, throw it out the window. That's gone. So that's the first thing when I come in the facility, I'm making sure that if there's leads coming in, they're hot, they're responding, I'm making sure that I'm taking care of those first. Right? And that typically, like, our automation kicks off 8:30 in the morning. So you may even have a little time to prep before you go into that.
Got it.
Right? Next piece is I'm always from there looking at who's training that day. Right? Because a lot of your clients, they're all in a different part of this journey. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to get out there, work the floor. If there's clients that's struggling, or I just want to follow up with them, throw them in for an accountability session. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Right? Because you want to take care of the flock.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's like main two levers again. I want to make sure I'm getting new people trying to book SPSs. And the next thing is I want to make sure the clients are coming in, especially ones that day, they're taken care of, they're getting touch. Now, with that, obviously good things can happen. You can catch things maybe you didn't know about. People had injuries. People have travel coming up. You need to work with them. Part of the job for retention kind of thing.
Right. So you should know, like, part of being present when they're there is the slapping backs and kissing babies. Through that process, you're strengthening those relationships, which is going to reveal things like, hey, I need to talk to you. My knee's been bugging you. Or, hey, I'm glad you're here. I want to talk about freezing, so I'm going to Italy for a month or whatever. So you can address those things, but you can only do it if you're present. And I'm glad you talked about what to do. We might even want to get more granular if you think it's important. But I think a lot of directors, that when they're in the facility, they don't know what to do, right? It's kind of like, all right, I'm sitting here. There's a room full of clients. What do I do? It's like, well, at least once an hour, do a pass through and try to have a brief conversation with everybody in there, and know you should have a personal relationship with them. It's obviously a different conversation with a client you've had for 6-8 months versus somebody it's their second day, right? You're like, are you sore? Hey, that's totally normal. Did you do the thing we talked about? All right, cool. Did you look at getting some athletic shoes instead of working out in your sandals, or whatever the things are for that person? If you knew a little bit about each person, just go through the room and spend 10 minutes slapping backs and kissing babies, and then you can get back to what you're good at. You should probably be present when they're coming in, so you can say hello, and you want to be present when they're on the way out, because that's a lot of times when you'll catch them for those side conversations. Yeah,
side conversations, checking in. It could be somebody's first workout in the facility. Make sure you're there. Make sure they're comfortable. Making sure your coaches are good. It's so important to go work the floor. Now, I know this happens. We've all been through it. You've had it happen to you. Obviously, we're in a very service-based client business. People want to talk to you. So the key here with this is going in, getting touch, but not getting like just caught in a conversation for 45 minutes, because that's not moving the needle, right? Just talking to people on the floor, that's not it. So when people hear this, it's like, you got to be tactical about it. Make sure you go get enough touch, follow up those that need it, make people feel comfortable. But then, like, get out of there. Like, leave back to the floor, go back to, again, it could be lead follow-up. You may have reached out. We need to, make sure we're hitting that.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Right.
Then the next piece is, from a attention standpoint, is what I'm always doing, especially checking throughout the week, is I'm looking at making sure all my actual customers are coming into the facility, right? Are they scheduled? When was the last time they had an accountability session? And then if they're not, I'm really taking time there and being proactive to reach out to them, follow up with them.
In that structure, because we started out with like Monday morning, right? You come in, you do this. So would that be happening in between me doing my trips around the floor?
Yes.
I'm just pulling reports and stuff at the desk?
It's easy enough. We have reports you can pull for that. But that's the daily stuff, right? Like, you're always handling leads. You always should be working the floor, talking to customers. You never know what can pull out of that, what you need to do, and then making sure your customers are coming in. All right. And if you're doing that, which is the whole business, by the way, like, you're getting customers and making them happy, you're going to be pretty solid. Like, know what's happening to all your people. We always talk about, you'll be able to go down the roster and be like, all right, tell me about Rick. What's going on? Tell me about Matt. That's the goal. Now, outside of that, this is where things, people get caught doing different things. So, like, when we go into your normal cadence, like, we run our L10s, we need to run our reports, we need to see our KPIs. You have social media posting. You have to follow up with old leads. This is where time management and blocking your schedule comes in, right? So we know in our model, we're open typically 6 to noon, and then we're open 4 to 8, 4 to 7, depending on where you are. Middle of the day or slower hours, that's when you should just go block off your schedule for specific tasks.
So those are things that need a lot of attention, probably not done in between your trips around the floor to meet and greet everyone or slap back kiss babies. So that would happen sort of like in those normal hours between, say, like 1 and 4 or 1 and 3.
1 and 4, maybe have a slower hour than like gym, maybe 11's not like cranking. You only got like 3, 4 people, but like you need to strategically, tactically block it off on your schedule. So say calling leads, that's something, we need to do every single day. So there's the responding to the like new hot leads and being very all over those folks for sure, but you need to follow up, continue to call, text, email the other leads, block off an hour every day, move it around at different times. So maybe like you're doing it at noon Monday and Wednesday you're doing it at 2, like, you know what I'm saying? Hit people at different spots, but that needs to be on there. Block off time if you're, putting some social media posts together. Block off time if you're going to put together, like, this is when I'm pulling reports. This is when I'm pulling frequent sweaters. This is when all the things. And by the way, we have all this already set up. Like you can look at like a manager cadence calendar and we have like an example of blocks.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
But if you don't do that, what happens is you get caught doing one thing or you end up not working on the most important thing. And that's not moving the needle.
Right.
Or you forget overall, right? You get caught in a conversation with a client, you spend 6 hours talking to Betty up front about her cats, and then you lost the whole time.
And there's an art to talking to Betty and making her feel seen, but not burning your whole day.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody gets that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not complicated. I wouldn't even say it's not too much. It's just you got to be smart with your time. And you got to be able to place it. So again, you're coming in daily, handling new leads, looking at customers coming in, making sure we get enough touch. I would go out every hour, like top of the hour you said, or if you want to the end of the hour, it's fine too. And then block off times throughout the day for the other weekly tasks that need to be done, for the reporting, social media. Make sure you got your call cadence and stuff in there.
So, all right. So we're selling the new people, taking care of the flock. At what point in this we're doing both starting point sessions, which is an hour long for that. That's that first visit for a new client.
Yep.
We're also doing something called accountability sessions, and you've already connected the dots. This is not rocket science, but the clubs that we have that do the most accountability sessions have far and away the highest retention. But those are also 2 duties that the director's doing. So you obviously need to block out time for that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, on your schedule, if we go back, like if I'm available from 6 to noon, 4 to 8, say Monday, right? Or, interchangeable schedules inside of there. Those are all open for what you're trying to do at the front end. Like we're trying to book new SPSs. So you have availability, right? You need clear visual availability for those things. And the same times these also can be available for accountability sessions. So your mix of day can be, all right, I have a SPS at 10. I have an accountability session at 11, right? And then we're going back to it. And that's why, it's important to block off time for those other tasks, which are typically like middle of the day and stuff.
Right. Like more, you say admin, but kind of, right? Or calling sales would obviously be the most important thing there. What about coaching the team? What does that look like?
Well, coaching the team is always, we have, as you know, you built it, a weekly coaches meeting, right? That's on the schedule. That's set. We used to do ours, Thursday at, I think it was 1:30 every Thursday, right?
And everybody has to make it part-time or not. That was our rule. I still think that's a great rule.
Yeah, I tell everybody, come to training, like if you have part-timers that can't make it to the meetings, they can't work there. It's
that important.
Right.
Yep.
No, absolutely. So that's already standard. That's set on the schedule. That's blocked for time for all of your people. So that's where we go over all of the happenings, right? What's going on in the studio. We go over all the customers, new customers, struggling customers.
And we provide a structure for that.
We have a whole structure for that, right? We go through all the workouts, but that's there every week. We're going to do that. Now, if I see people struggle in this arena where they can't time management, they get caught. Common thing I see is they don't utilize their team for all the extra admin, and if you will, and the SOPs around like the coaches' shifts and things like that.
Give me some examples.
Like, for example, clients, as you know, throughout the day, things come up, want to reschedule. Well, part of the coach's shift duties before and after is to help rescheduling. And, you can honestly do that in between sessions as well, right? Like you can see a message come through and you can reschedule. So when you're a director, it's very important that the team knows how to do these functions and knows it's a responsibility, especially in those checkoff times. Because guess what you're not doing if you're just sitting there answering messages about scheduling and things like that.
Right.
You're not selling and you're not taking care of any of the actual customers for accountability sessions.
Right.
So that's one example of just like, directors, it's not all on you to do it, right? That's why you have a team.
Well, and that's where, to your point, the three things: sell new folks, take care of the flock, and manage your team. This falls into the manage your team category.
Yeah, what your team wants to do, right? Like I always tell people, empower your teams to take care of the customers. Right, they're not just widgets to run a workout. Right, they're they're an extension of the director to take care of the people and help them.
Yeah, I've even heard you use the term for we have a head coach. I've heard you use the term as assistant director, and you do that in an effort to help them understand. Hey, it's not just about servicing revenue on the floor. Mm-hmm. We pad your schedule on either end. Sometimes the head coach / assistant director is on a salary even. So it's like, hey, here's some other duties that you can help us with that are client facing, that aren't too difficult. We're not asking you to pull reports on KPIs and stuff. We're just asking you to make sure the clients are taken care of, part of that customer care, right, by helping them reschedule.
Yeah, reschedule. And then so for, we call it assistant director now, head coach, vice for term. But at the end of the day, it's always coach to your team's strengths. Right, there's some people better at certain things. It just is what it is.
Right,
which is fine.
You might have a rock star coach that's really great at social media, so they're going to handle that.
Great, that's in their bucket, right? I mean, delegated off. I mean, we've always did that for years, right? Mm-hmm. We had our team. You're handling social media. You're handling success stories, which is totally fine. That person too can assist in accountability sessions. I know we talk about John Farkas' clubs. They get a lot of accountability sessions done. They're getting 80 a month.
Well, not surprisingly, has the highest retention.
Yeah,
right.
He has his entire team. He taught them up. Everybody knows how to run the play. They're all involved, which I think is great because you never want the business is not one person at all.
No,
right?
it's a team of remember the old the saying that we stole from the Ritz-Carlton, where the guy, is it the German guy who kind of brought them, taught them all their customer service, techniques and sort of mindset and culture around customer service. And he would come in and talk to a bunch of housekeepers and, basically laborers, if you will. And he would say that we are a group of ladies and gentlemen servicing ladies and gentlemen,
yep.
right? So it's hey, we're all in this together. Same, right? You might have a different role, but we are a group of ladies and gentlemen servicing ladies and gentlemen. So I like that idea. And also the other thing that comes to mind is, if you ever heard the story about NASA where the janitor's sweeping up and the guy goes, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What are you doing? And he's like, oh, we're putting a man in space. So he could have said, I'm sweeping the floor, but he's part of the bigger picture and he understands how he fits. So to him, he's keeping the floor clean, maybe because they don't want debris getting on people's shoes and ending up in the sealed mechanism that the astronauts are practicing in or whatever. So it's no, I'm putting someone in space by cleaning this floor. I think when you have a cohesive team like that, everyone understands how their efforts contribute. It is motivating because there's a purpose to their work, which is very motivating, right? So my job is blank. I am here to change the lives of these people. Now, at this point in time, I'm spot cleaning the gym at the end of a shift, but a clean gym helps people come in more. Thus, we're helping more people. Just same, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the role itself is we've got get members, keep members. You can kind of describe it as real estate a little bit. You're kind of always on call. And I don't mean that in a bad way because some people hear that. They're oh no, I'm not going to work. I'll never get to turn off. That's not the case. But in a sales role, expectations, you got to be ready. Leads come in at any time. Right? Yeah, there's a cutoff at night and there's a cutoff in the morning. I'm not asking you to call people at 9:00 at night, but leads are coming in throughout the day. So first expectations, get ready. You should get excited. You get a new lead come in. I'm ooh, something to go get. Right. But you got to be ready to tackle those things. You got to be time management. Also looking at fitness. It's an awesome job. We always joke around with it. You literally get to wear sweatpants to work. look, guys, typically Friday afternoon, nothing's going on. All of your clients are going out for happy hour. So, I mean, like you're literally like 4.5 solid days, Saturday for a couple hours. But it's just kind of, you got to be prepared to sometimes you're going to have a long day. Like that's okay.
Right.
And then some days are going to be shorter.
Ebbs and flows.
But like it's not a perfect clock in, clock out kind of position.
Right.
But it's even better.
It is, but what it takes is what we're talking about. Like you have to have discipline. You have to set up a schedule for yourself, because if you came from the fitness background where you only had to be a place if you had a client scheduled, and now you have to schedule your own time and be responsible for a couple of different tasks, that's a different skill set, right? So I think shifting gears for a lot of people, it'll be good for them to hear this. And I'm glad we provide the framework to say, listen, this is a day in the life of, right? You have to be more disciplined than you have been to be in this position. But if you really want to help people, that's ultimately what you're doing. Like you're really you just care enough to learn and to change your MO and to change the lives of 130, 150 people. It's like, well, be organized, and you'll be a lot happier doing it if you are.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a fun job. You get into it, get it growing, like the members, like, they all love you and you love your team. They treat you like their kids.
Yep.
There's nothing better than Christmas as a trainer.
Right. It's like you have a whole extended family of 100-something people.
Yeah.
Tell me about the owner's role in this model, right? Because if you're wanting all the things I'm hearing you talk about the director do, I would describe as client facing. So there's other things in a small business, the HVAC goes out, or there's hell, that doesn't even happen, but like something silly happens, right? Like they have to come in and fix something in the facility, or there's a business license to be obtained or upgraded or renewed. There's fire safety guys going to swing by, like that. The burden of those things, if I'm correct, should fall on the owner of the business, not the director. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know
bills.
if there's any more of an expert than you on this. I mean, you've owned the business for 34 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say that the most important thing is like you have to pay attention to it as an owner, but handle all the back office stuff, like do the payroll, pay the bills, support your team, show up to your weekly meetings, even if it's virtually, if you travel, right, with some other kind of gig you have. Just be there. Like they need to know that they can count on you, and especially your director needs to know that like you're doing things behind the scenes. When I had Scott on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, it just dropped today, out of Cincinnati. And I'm like, so what do you do? Because he had a different business, a concrete business, which he sold. Mm-hmm. So now he's got full-time alloy, right? And he's like, oh, I love it. He's like, I just like being there. He's like, I go in and like, I'll empty the trash cans, or if there's garbage here, I'll spot clean. And so both members and his team sees him serving them, right, in that way. So like, what does an owner do when they swing by? Do that. Slap backs, kiss babies, pick up the place,
Yeah.
Tidy up, give your guys some help.
I mean, what I tell all owners is, you talked about support, but it's be in the business as well to support and do it with them, for essentially, right? I mean, and I'm not saying like you're taking over the roles or anything like that, but I mean, like there's nothing better than an owner that's involved and also in there trying to help you achieve your goal.
Right.
Especially if you're coming brand new business. This is all hands on deck, baby.
Well, oh yeah. And you talked about like, hey, we're all in this together, right? Like the owner can drive that culture, because the way that you as an owner treat your director / manager is the way that they're going to treat the employees, which is the way everyone's going to treat the clients. So if you serve that person and you show up as a great team member, and the care for the client is the number one thing, top, the business does that, and you could just keep driving home that message, and maybe bring some snacks to a meeting every now and then, and just be a decent person, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so when you went into licensing and speaking and all that, like you basically an owner like our franchisees, if you will, because like you weren't involved in the day to day as much, but you were still there to be a part of the meetings. But the big thing I remember is you still always tried to help and drive traffic to the business, whether it was sitting down and helping us plan out what we want to do or actually doing that.
Right.
Right. Which I hear a lot of owners are afraid to step on their director's toes. Like, I don't want to get in their way. Screw that. No director out there does not want their owner in there trying, like paddling along right next to them.
I'm just going to say, just don't take it personally, but I've been in both of those seats. I call BS on stepping on toes.
Yeah, I mean, no director's like, oh, no, you get out of here. They're like, oh, thank God. Like, yeah, let's
Who
do this
doesn't
together.
want more help, especially on the things that like,
Yeah,
what's the main thing they should do? You already talked about it. Sell the new people, take care of the flock, keep the team motivated and doing the right thing. If it's not that, the owner should do it.
yeah,
And most of the things that we're talking about that the owner should do are not, they don't even require them to be present to do them.
right.
Right? Work on new marketing initiatives, help them build a marketing calendar. I mean, it's your business, right? You can't just start the business and throw a person in there and expect them to act like the owner who's going to like take care of any maintenance issues, do 101 things, order new supplies. I mean, do all of that and run the business and take care of the clients and motivate the team. That's way too much pressure for one person, even though it's a small business.
That's where you'll see people get crushed, and they're not doing things again. That's the main two levers, which is grow the business and keep them.
Well, and look, there's some things you have to do as you evolve your skill set. If you're just a trainer at some point, which I was, and then you become a director, it's like a different skill set, sure. But look at it as an opportunity to upskill yourself and learn how to manage time, learn how to sell, do some other things. But as the owner, again, just give them that bandwidth on the back end.
And everybody is different again. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Like some people, they can build marketing calendars. Some people can't build marketing calendars, can't do social media, like whatever. And that's why also like at a franchise, we have lots of
we have a social media vendor
to fill gaps.
And they'll say, take 3 pictures of clients, get them to me, and I'll make a beautiful post for you.
Can't do this? We got this for you. And then that's part of beauty of a franchise.
Right.
Just support you, figure out where you're at, and help you where you need.
Well, and again, like Scott said, just know the business, right? It's like, know your metrics, support your team, be there when they need you, like the business you're in, slap back, kiss babies. And that's it. I mean, it's so simple. It's not easy, just like weight loss. Simple, not easy.
Yeah.
But it is simple.
I would say obviously there's kind of seasons to our business. There is a pre-sale, getting it, like it's an all-out blitz. When you're open, if you're just a director, if you're the director, it's really making sure the first thing is what's going on with all your customers. Like we can't fall off on the sales side for sure. Yeah, got to keep growing it. But there's nothing you can do from a marketing aspect if you got people leaving. And what makes our model great is the fact that we are that high customer service. We do want them to be there, right? We always talk about being the anti-gym. We want you to show up. And if you do that really well, you create raving fans, you create a great customer experience. That often just takes care of everything else by itself right there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a leaky bucket, and it's easier to fill a bucket that's not leaking, clearly. And guess what? If you knock the socks off of people, it's a lot easier to ask for referrals, and you'll get them. And that can feed your business long term. We've gone through phases here where we were slam full and wouldn't lose anyone and had no marketing budget, right? Did nothing for marketing because we didn't have anywhere to put people, and we were still getting a ton of referrals.
Yeah.
So, but everyone was delivering at a high level to be able to do that. So I agree. Yes, there's going to be phases where it's a lot of sales and certainly pre-sale, things like that. And then till your gym is stable. But once you're up and stable and you're at that threshold, it's like, just do the thing really well. Just care about your people.
You have to. And pre-sale, it's a great thing in our business and gets you to a really good spot, money coming in. But whatever happens, let the chips, wherever they fall, now it's the thing. Now we got to be really, really good at that.
Right.
So that's where you got to shift some focus. That's where owners got to step in and help out. Maybe it is driving some traffic to the business, whatever it needs to be. But if you know all your customers and you take care of them, that is how you get really good retention.
Yeah. And that grows your business. So, I mean, when it boils down to it, just do the thing really well. Yeah. And we've been doing the thing for 34 years. We feel like we're giving you a really nice bicycle, but you got to have to pedal that thing. But yeah, man, I think that's good. We'll leave it at that. We could beat a dead horse here all day on the director and how important this person is. But that's the basic role. Reiterate what Matt said, you guys. Sell the new ones, take care of the flock. Maybe a subcategory to that is take care of your team, which takes care of the flock. Any activities the director's doing that's not doing those two things should probably be on the owner's plate. If you just do that and you get your team to care and you can get everybody rowing in the same direction, you can have a great business.
You got it.
All right, brother. Thanks.